So you guys have been wondering, who should you actually put as a primary? Is it going to be Sun Tu or Yi Song-ye? Well, in this video, we're going to tackle who is actually the better primary with either Sun Tu or Yi Song-ye, and how you're going to develop your composition of troops in here, and what happens if you actually try to put Sun Tu as a primary instead of Yi Song-ye. I'm Shinchi42. In today's video, we're going to look into Sun Tu and Yi Song-ye combination. Is it worth it? Is it good? Or how is it going to unfold using these two commanders? Sun Tu and YSG is one of the most versatile commanders in Rise of Kingdoms, and they are widely used in the game. I'm Shinchi42, your sponsored content creator for Rise of Kingdoms. Today, we're going to tackle this pressing issue. So I've been trying to look at Sun Tu and Yi Song-ye. So here's what I've done. I removed my city theme because I have the Saints Hallow. So I reset Yi Song-ye's talents in here. And I also reset Sun Tu's talent. Okay, so the best way to look at this is going through this one by one. Let's send out a march. And let's take a look by himself. How much skill damage at 50%? That is because of this skill that is increasing the active skill damage by 50%. So we can see that this is correct. Now let's take a look at Sun Tu as a primary commander. This says 20%, so we should be getting 20%. Perfect, it's 20%. Now we're gonna put Yi Song-ye as a secondary commander. What do you guys think is going to happen? So on my live stream, I actually talked about that the highest buff will be the one to take over, but we're gonna try to prove it if it's actually correct or not in this video. We got the information when we were asking, and that was the stuff that was given to us. What do you guys actually think is gonna happen in here? Do you think Sun Tu and Yi Song-ye active skill damage or the increasing active skill damage skills is going to add up? Or is Yi Song-ye going to take over? In my live stream, I mentioned what the devs have told me. I mentioned that they have said that it's going to be Yi Song-ye's skill is going to be taken over. But with my past history, I was given the wrong information. I think it's good before we tell everybody that, hey, this is what they said. It's good that we double check ourselves, because we don't want to get other players out there making other stuff and talking about stuff in here that we're making stuff incorrect. So by looking at this, we can see that we have 70% skill damage. So what happened? It was a simple mathematical equation in here. 50% plus 20%, boom, what is that? 70%. So it was an addition. Okay, what happens there is that it is actually stacking. Now, the biggest question now is, what if we flip this? Does it matter if we flip the commanders in here? If I put Yi Song-ye and Sun Tu, this combination in here, primary with YSG, what do you think is going to be my skill damage now? Would it remain as 70%? Or now YSG takes over with 50%? Or maybe we just lost 20%, so 50%. I already know the answer, but we're trying to hype this up. It is actually 70% again. 70%. So with that being said, when looking into the skill or the active skill damage bonuses in here, it doesn't matter if it's YSG primary or Yi Song-ye's primary. What matters is your troop composition. If you actually have Sun Tu, you're going to be running with infantry. What I can tell you right now, archers have higher skill damage because of the talent tree. Because of this venomous thing, right, it's going to increase the active skill damage. So when you're running with YSG as a primary, you do get more skill damage on that sense. And you're going to be running with archers, right, because you're going to be having the archer pad. And if you're running with Sun Tu, you do get a little bit less, but not that much, honestly. You do get slightly less, a few more percentage there, but not a whole lot. But this one, you're running with infantry. So it all depends on what you're running with and whoever you have at level 60. So with that being analyzed, who do you think is actually the better primary commander. This is a 10% chance, right? Honestly, in my opinion, I think Sun Tzu is better at being a primary commander in here because you do get raw stats that is going to help your infantry compared to YSG. You're not really getting raw stats. So I would recommend using Sun Tzu as a primary with full infantry rather than using your Yi Song-ye primary with full archers. So if you're doing that combination, Yi Song-ye should be a secondary in my opinion. So let me show you real quick. Let's build Sun Tzu in here for this pad that I have. There's nothing here that's going to add into the skill damage, okay? We're gonna build into this pad. So what I'm gonna be doing is we're gonna fill this up, full skill pad. And what did I have in here? Alright, so let's build this. If you guys didn't know, you can do a quick build now, like this, whatever I'm doing right now. And here. There we go. And I'm gonna tell you that there's not a whole lot of difference between the skill damage. But in this one, you're actually getting raw stats, like raw benefits as well, for the infantry. Let's put Yi Song-ye, and let's build it to this pad, which is just what I have. Actually, it doesn't matter. I can go for this one, but I was testing one. All right, let's build this one here. Okay. Now, for my Yi Song-ye, I did not add the Naked Rage. For Sun Tzu, I could also add the Naked Rage in here, which I haven't added. We can add that. We'll add 2 of the Naked Rage in here. And then we'll go to YSG as well. And they have pretty much similar talent. The difference with YSG, you do get the Venomous Sting. We'll add 2 in here. Now we got 4 more points. Alright, let me add it to this one. Let me finish this up. Alright, so it's pretty much the same now with Sun Tzu. Alright, let's take a look into how much differences there is really. So if we have YSG as a primary, we get 85% skill damage. Now let's flip it to where we put Sun Tzu as a primary and then YSG as a secondary. So earlier was 85%, now it's 77%. So there's about 8% difference, right? Is it really that much? Is it really that much? Honestly, I don't think so. Now, let's take a look into the raw stats, okay? For the infantry, you actually get 112.5% on attack. On defense, you get 103%. And then on HP, you do get, where is it? 76%. Now, if we flip this one with Yi Song-ye, the archers get 120%. Plus, I have Britain Civilization, so I'm only getting actually 115% in here. 115% if I don't have the Britain Civilization. And then for the defense, we're getting about 98% and then 61% on health. I did remove Yi Song-ye's equipment before checking that because that's going to affect us as well when you're checking. Now, the biggest thing in here is that if you're looking into raw stats, there's not a whole lot of difference between archers and infantry. I think infantry raw stats is actually better. So what I would recommend, actually putting Sun Tzu as a primary is better than putting Yi Song-ye as a primary. Now, we do know that putting Yi Song-ye as a primary gives out higher skill damage. So that's one thing that you can get benefit of if you're running with archers. It really depends again on the equipment that you have. If you have way better archer equipment, then I would go for, having Yi Song-ye as a primary. But if you actually have a very decent equipment for Sun Tzu, and then I would go for having a primary Sun Tzu. I think there's more value on that one. So if you're free to play, I think this video would really give you a lot of value, because then if you invested on Yi Song-ye and you have Sun Tzu, then it would work that way. Now this video is really great knowledge for free to play. So if you guys haven't subscribed to my channel yet, if you guys want to dive into all these details in here in Rise of Kingdoms, I'm doing it. Subscribe to this channel and smash that thumbs up if you guys appreciate the hard work in here that is being put. And of course, definitely share the content so that we can spread out the knowledges in here. Now, like I said, my conclusion here is that I think infantry is better than archers. What's new? Running in here with Zone 2 comparison as a primary or secondary, it's better to run Zone 2 primary than as a secondary. Now, another thing that you need to understand is that if you're running with Zone 2 as a primary, you're not going to cast the AoE of YSG right away, because the primary commander skill is going to be the first one that cast. All right, so the secondary commander's active skill are used immediately after primary commander, but it doesn't really matter. Both of them are AoE commanders. You're still going to get great value in that one. So if you're going to be defending into the city as a garrison, if you're using Zun Tu and Yi Song Ye, I would put garrison wise Zun Tu primary, because you get more benefit on raw stats on your infantry anyway. So if you have a lot of infantry, it would benefit you that way. With that being said, I think this is very helpful, and hopefully this is going to help you guys out. The support did made a comment on us. They replied to us with our question in here. They did say that the active skill damage is the one that doesn't stack, but if it's a passive skill, it stacks. Okay, so with that knowledge in here, hopefully you guys are, one step ahead with more knowledge in Rise of Kingdoms. And I'm trying to give you guys all these things that a lot of people have been asking, right? That people are confused of. So let me know in the comment section below if there are other things that you're actually confused of. We're trying to ask the support in this one, and we're going to try to prove it as well to make sure that we actually have solid proof if it's actually how it's supposed to be. All right, so thanks for watching, and I will see you again next time. Hopefully I see you guys on my live stream. See you guys.